Hello, this is a continuation of Too Dumb to Fight with Truth. Subject matter 40 million Americans, no health care, beginning on page 7. The reason advanced for the shortcoming in health care is a lack of money. However, money usually comes from some source to finance other matters, which themselves leaves another minority wanting. It seems as if the only one immune from the fate of minority is this God the people yield to. This God is recognized and quite familiar. This God is seen thousands of years ago, allowing the Egyptian people and their Pharaoh to hold the Hebrew children in bondage. It is only after Moses presented a new God that things changed. He is seen hundreds of years ago, allowing another majority to benefit from the land housed by others, and further condemning still others to slavery. It was only when some of these slaves, together with some abolitionists, presented a different God, did things change. Now, at the dawn of the 21st century, this familiar God has captured the minds of yet another majority, and together they have conspired to deny the benefit of health care to 40 million Americans, including untold billions of others around the world. As in times past, time is calling out for uncorrupted people or person to give life to a new, different God, to bring justice, mercy, and health care to all in need. Living under heaven's rule tomorrow while detesting them today. The requirements necessary to maintain residency in heaven likewise is required to get to heaven, to get there. Anyone satisfied with the social status of today, complacent to it, or feel too powerless to do anything about it, is under the influence of a familiar God and has no real desire to reside in heaven. When people such as these voice a desire to live eternally in heaven, they are referring to a house built by someone else, maintained by someone else, and having received an invitation to live there with the luxury of doing whatever they desire. Would you allow someone to live in your house who refused to obey any of your house rules? Neither with the heavenly landlord. This is the same landlord who evicted the first man from that house for refusing to be obedient to the rule. He is the same landlord who requires that humankind observe the rules of heaven wherever he may live. Thy will be done as it is in heaven. Practicing these rules in daily living to the extent of willingly giving up your life where you are in order to maintain heaven's code of conduct and reward is the only way anyone can enter into that mansion. The familiar God has deceived the people to believe that it's okay to hate your neighbor or the other races. It's okay to be economically wealthy at the expense and misery of the poor. It's okay to lie. It's okay to cheat. It's okay to steal. It's okay to kill for national security. It's okay to excuse any heinous action in the name of a legal job. What are my mission and message to you? It is this: the world you are currently living in is of a lower order of existence. It is inherently evil. You are here because you are evil and blind to the evil around you, just as the one who rebelled against heaven and influenced others to reject and try to discredit heaven and got them evicted. Likewise, heavenly-minded people have rebelled against this evil world, this evil country. I am drawing attention to the evils that exist here in hopes of removing the blindness from the eyes of the humans, that they may use the powers they have to do well and cause good to be done, thus making this world and this country a better place. Nevertheless, if we are evicted, we are guaranteed a progression to a higher order of life, limited only by our infinite ability to dream. Next chapter, the truth about death. Death is one of the most exciting tools of human existence. It serves as a springboard into the lower and higher orders of life. To the unknowing, it can be the most fearful of all experiences. To the knowledgeable, it is literally a welcome dream. Like a womb, it is the door whereby human creation passes from one life experience to another. The Bible teaches that God told the first man that the day he disobeyed the rules of life, he would surely die. Man disobeyed and died. In so doing, he lost all knowledge of spiritual awareness. All he knows is the result of his physical senses. He passed through the door of death through the spiritual to the physical. Because of the pain and suffering in this dimension, the poverty, the crime, violence and war, hatred and competition, etc., here is considered as a lower order of life. As man was warned about the consequences of his disobedience, he has also been informed about the benefits of his obedience to the rules of life. In an environment where obeying such rules are a sure way to be reintroduced to death. The Creator literally teaches all about the realities of life and death. For those who have the faith, they get the message. To others, it is a puzzlement. The school for this education comes in the form of dreams. Dreams teach about the ability to be absent from the body and present with the whole new world, involving others you know or not, yet being fully in place and fitting in without knowledge of the body left behind. Some dreams are such that the dreamer would rather never stop. Others are nightmares. The lessons from this school is obey the rules of life that were violated by the first man. And when you travel from that womb through that door that brings you into a new tomorrow, it will be one where dreamers never wish to awake from. On the other hand, continue to disobey the rules of life, and at the time of death, you will spring through that door to a worse nightmare than the one you know now. How long would you like to live? Would you like to live forever? Answer yes, and know that you are ignorant to truth. A slave to the familiar God would commit any act to live. Such as these are the most selfish of humankind, destined to a lower order of life, a nightmare. Solutions. Next chapter, to nations' economic crisis is imminent. Argentina, Afghanistan, South America, the United States, etc. Most social systems and people of the world are aware that changes are desired and are necessary to lift all people to an economic level sufficient to meet human needs, thereby eliminating an awesome percentage of other related social markets and exploitation. The answer lies in people of the world, seeing people of the world in a different light, one that reflects the observer as the observed. This brings everyone's problem home to the individual as his own. Concurrently, it becomes the responsibility of the rest of the world to support each individual and country or nation in efforts to become economically secure. In the past, people have been traditionally socialized selfishly, looking out only for themselves, their gender, their family, race, and country, etc. It is not so important at this time to focus on such origin, but rather to recognize and admit such existence. In doing so immediately, the picture of social deprivation and poverty becomes crystal clear. The essence of looking at others and their situation as your own, good and bad, causes an innate arousal of joy and pain depending on the essence of the observation. This is a reflection of a magnanimous socialization, to wit, all kinds of new approaches to situations of life as it reflects others. Groups and countries become available, including solutions to cutbacks in employment, education, healthcare, energy, housing, food, clothing, transportation, etc. Thousands of years of preparation has been made to identify and inform millions of people about the reality and need and a change of social orientation. These people are known as Christians and Muslims and Baha'is and Buddhists and Jews and many others. They have their hypocrisies and hypocrites also. There are, however, groups of people throughout the world that accept and promote the selfless orientation and socialization of all people. They accept all the negative consequences because it is sure. It's sure to happen to others and not themselves. In fact, such people are the main facilitators to such an order. To maintain this disposition, they will do anything, commit evils, kill, cause war, and threaten to destroy the planet. Nonetheless, destiny has no superiors. The 21st century has been identified as the time. The people of the highest order of selflessness and generosity are the angelic vehicle. God has risen from amongst the people, a facilitator to initiate and carry forward that which has been proclaimed since the beginning of time. I come that you might have life, and that more abundantly. So ask, and it shall be given unto you.